There is a silent battle happening every single day inside the human mind. A battle that no one else can see. A war that determines whether a person rises to greatness or fades quietly into the background of life. It is not fought with weapons. It is not fought with armies. It is fought with thoughts. Every morning when you wake up, the world begins speaking to you. It tells you what is possible. It tells you what is difficult. It tells you what you deserve. But the most dangerous voice is not the one coming from the outside world. It is the whisper inside your own mind. The whisper that says you should wait. The whisper that says the timing is not right. The whisper that quietly reminds you of every failure you have ever experienced. That voice has destroyed more dreams than poverty, war, or bad luck combined. Yet history reveals something extraordinary. Every individual who has shaped the course of civilization faced that same voice and refused to obey it. When Thomas Edison attempted to create the electric light, the world laughed at him. More than 10,000 attempts ended in failure. 10,000. Imagine the weight of that doubt. The exhaustion. The humiliation. The countless moments when the mind whispers, "Enough." But Edison understood something that separates ordinary people from the architects of destiny. Failure is not the opposite of success. Failure is the forge where success is built. Every experiment that did not work simply revealed another way that would not produce light. Each setback sharpened his understanding. And eventually, the darkness surrendered. The light bulb illuminated the world not because Edison avoided failure, but because he mastered his mind in the presence of it. This is where real power begins. Not in talent, not in circumstances, but in the discipline to control the inner conversation that shapes your actions. Because the truth is simple, even if it is uncomfortable. Your life is the result of what you have repeatedly believed about yourself. If you believe you are limited, your mind will build invisible walls around your ambition. If you believe the world is unfair, your attention will search endlessly for proof of injustice. If you believe success belongs to someone else, you will unconsciously sabotage every opportunity that approaches you. But when a person begins to command their thoughts with intention, the entire structure of their reality begins to change. The mind is not a mirror that simply reflects the world. It is a magnet. It attracts the conditions that match the frequency of its beliefs. This is why two individuals can stand in the same circumstances and experience completely different lives. One sees barriers. The other sees possibilities. One sees risk. The other sees opportunity. And over time, their lives become the physical evidence of the thoughts they have allowed to dominate their mind. This principle has shaped every empire, every discovery, every breakthrough in human history. Consider Andrew Carnegie. Born into poverty, a young immigrant working long hours in a factory. By every reasonable expectation, his life should have remained small. But Carnegie possessed something more valuable than wealth. He possessed vision. He believed that industry would transform the world, and he disciplined his mind to pursue that belief with relentless focus. Year after year he studied. He observed. He learned the patterns of opportunity that others ignored. And eventually he built one of the greatest steel empires the world had ever seen. The difference was not luck. It was mental mastery. Because the moment you begin directing your thoughts with purpose, your brain starts operating differently. It begins searching for patterns that align with your vision. Ideas appear where others see routine. Opportunities emerge where others see obstacles. Your awareness sharpens. Your courage expands. And slowly, quietly, the direction of your life begins to shift. But this transformation requires something that most people avoid. Clarity. Vague wishes create vague results. You cannot wander through life hoping that success will somehow find you. Success responds to precision. The individual who knows exactly what they want becomes a force of nature. Their actions align. Their energy concentrates. Their decisions become powerful because they are guided by a clear destination. Without clarity, effort scatters like light through fog. With clarity, effort becomes a laser capable of cutting through steel. Think of Henry Ford. Before Ford, automobiles were fragile luxuries for the wealthy. But Ford saw something others could not yet imagine. He envisioned a world where ordinary workers could drive their own machines, where mobility belonged not only to the rich, but to anyone with determination. Many experts dismissed the idea. They believed the automobile would remain a novelty. But Ford was not guided by their opinions. He was guided by his vision. He reorganized production. He simplified design. He refined efficiency. And eventually the assembly line changed the entire landscape of industry. One clear vision, relentlessly pursued, reshaped the world. This is the power of mental clarity. But clarity alone is not enough. The mind must also develop discipline. Because the journey toward any meaningful achievement will test your patience, your endurance, and your belief. There will be days when progress feels invisible. Moments when exhaustion whispers that surrender would be easier. Times when the comfort of mediocrity seems more appealing than the uncertainty of ambition. This is the crossroads where most people turn back. But those who master themselves understand a deeper truth. Discipline is the bridge between vision and reality. It is the quiet commitment to move forward when emotion fades. To continue learning when results are slow. To keep building when applause has not yet arrived. Discipline transforms intention into achievement. And every act of discipline strengthens the architecture of your character. Look at Abraham Lincoln. His life was not a straight path to greatness. It was a long sequence of defeats, business failures, political losses, personal tragedies. Many individuals would have concluded that destiny was against them. But Lincoln possessed a rare form of inner strength. He refused to interpret setbacks as final verdicts. Instead, he treated them as temporary chapters in a much larger story. He studied his mistakes. He refined his thinking. He continued forward. And eventually, the man who once struggled to win local elections became the leader who preserved a nation during its darkest hour. What carried him through those storms was not luck. It was resilience. The ability to absorb hardship without surrendering purpose is the armor of every extraordinary life. Without it, ambition collapses at the first sign of resistance. With it, every challenge becomes a stepping stone toward greater strength. And resilience grows from one powerful decision. The decision to see every difficulty as training. Training for wisdom. Training for courage. Training for the responsibilities that come with greatness. When this mindset becomes part of your identity, something remarkable happens. You stop fearing adversity. You begin welcoming it. Because you understand that pressure creates diamonds. Struggle creates strength. And every obstacle you overcome increases the distance between who you were and who you are becoming. This journey of mastery also requires humility. The humility to keep learning. The humility to accept that growth never ends. Even the most brilliant minds in history remained students of life. Walt Disney experienced bankruptcy before building the empire that would redefine entertainment. He was told repeatedly that his ideas were unrealistic. But Disney never stopped learning from every failure. He studied storytelling. He refined creativity. He experimented relentlessly. And eventually his vision transformed imagination into an industry that would inspire generations. Learning is the fuel of progress. The moment a person believes they know enough, growth begins to fade. But when curiosity remains alive, the mind continues expanding. And expansion is the essence of human potential. Because inside every individual exists a reservoir of ability far greater than they realize. Most people never reach it. Not because it does not exist, but because they stop digging before they reach the water. The world rewards those who persist long enough to discover what lies beneath the surface of their own capabilities. And when that discovery happens, something extraordinary begins to unfold. Confidence deepens. Purpose strengthens. And the individual who once doubted their place in the world begins to walk with quiet certainty. Not arrogance. Not pride. But the calm understanding that they are no longer a passenger in life. They are the architect. They are the builder. They are the one who decides how far their potential will expand. And this realization transforms everything. Your habits begin to reflect your ambition. Your choices begin to honor your vision. Your actions begin to shape a future that once existed only in imagination. Because once you master your thoughts, discipline your actions, and strengthen your resilience, the boundaries that once defined your life begin to dissolve. The world opens. Opportunities multiply. Momentum builds. And you begin to understand a truth that has echoed through the lives of every great achiever who ever lived. The greatest conquest is not over circumstances. It is over the self. When you command your mind, fear loses its authority. When you control your focus, distractions lose their power. When you discipline your habits, your potential begins to unfold with unstoppable momentum. And slowly, step by step, choice by choice, day by day, the individual who once questioned their strength becomes a force capable of shaping the world around them. Because the path to greatness was never hidden. It was always waiting within the one place most people neglect to explore: their own mind. Master yourself, and the world will eventually recognize the power that was within you all along. Because once you begin to master the landscape of your own mind, a strange and powerful transformation begins to unfold within you. You start to see life differently. Situations that once looked like obstacles begin to reveal hidden doors. Challenges that once frightened you begin to feel like invitations. And slowly, quietly, your relationship with difficulty changes. Most people spend their lives trying to avoid pressure. They run from responsibility. They seek comfort above all else. But comfort has never built empires. Comfort has never forged legendary minds. Comfort has never carried a human being beyond the invisible boundaries of mediocrity. Growth demands friction. It demands resistance. Just as steel is strengthened by fire and pressure, the human spirit becomes powerful through struggle. Look again at the path of Henry Ford. Before the world celebrated his achievements, Ford endured humiliation and financial collapse. Early investors abandoned him. Competitors mocked his obsession with making automobiles affordable for ordinary workers. But Ford possessed something far stronger than approval. He possessed persistence. He believed that if he could simplify manufacturing, if he could create a system efficient enough, the automobile would no longer be a luxury, it would become a tool of freedom for millions. And so he experimented. He failed. He redesigned. He failed again. But with every failure his understanding deepened. With every obstacle his resolve hardened. Until eventually the moving assembly line revolutionized production forever. Factories transformed. Industries accelerated. The entire rhythm of modern life shifted. What began as a stubborn idea inside one mind became a force that reshaped the world. That is the extraordinary power hidden inside disciplined thought. But persistence does not grow automatically. It must be built. Every day presents a choice. You can follow the path of least resistance, surrendering your time to distractions that numb your potential. Or you can choose the path that requires effort, the path that strengthens your focus, sharpens your mind, and slowly builds the character required for greatness. Character is the invisible architecture of success. Without it, talent collapses. Without it, ambition burns out. Without it, opportunity is wasted. Character is built through the small decisions that nobody sees. The decision to wake early when your body begs for more sleep. The decision to continue studying when others choose entertainment. The decision to act with integrity even when dishonesty appears easier. These moments may feel insignificant in isolation, but over time they accumulate. They sculpt the individual you become. Consider the extraordinary life of Abraham Lincoln. Before history honored him as one of the greatest leaders in American history, Lincoln experienced a relentless series of defeats. His early business failed. He lost multiple elections. He faced deep personal grief. And yet, through every disappointment, he cultivated a quality that few individuals ever develop: emotional endurance. He refused to allow temporary setbacks to define his identity. Instead, he used hardship as a classroom. Every failure became instruction. Every loss became preparation. And when the moment arrived for a leader strong enough to guide a fractured nation through civil war, Lincoln possessed something far more valuable than political power. He possessed depth. The depth that can only be forged through years of perseverance. The same principle applies to every life. Adversity is not punishment. It is reparation. When viewed through the eyes of wisdom, every struggle becomes a training ground. Every delay becomes an opportunity to strengthen patience. Every mistake becomes a lesson sharpening your awareness. But this transformation only occurs when a person accepts full responsibility for their direction. Responsibility is the dividing line between those who remain stuck and those who rise. Blame is easy. Blame circumstances. Blame the economy. Blame the unfairness of the world. Blame gives the illusion of relief, but it steals power. Responsibility, on the other hand, is uncomfortable. It demands honesty. It forces you to examine your habits, your thoughts, your actions. But responsibility also grants something extraordinary: control. The moment you accept responsibility for your life, you reclaim the authority to shape it. You stop waiting for permission. You stop hoping for rescue. You begin designing your own future. This mindset fueled the relentless ambition of Andrew Carnegie. Carnegie began his life in poverty, working long hours as a factory laborer. But inside his mind, he carried a different picture of what life could become. Instead of complaining about his circumstances, he studied the mechanics of business. He observed markets. He learned how industries functioned. Every spare moment became an opportunity to expand his knowledge. While others saw only exhausting labor, Carnegie saw education. And eventually that education transformed him into one of the most powerful industrial leaders of his era. But the deeper legacy of Carnegie was not merely his wealth. It was his understanding that success carries responsibility beyond the self. True mastery includes the ability to lift others. Near the end of his life, Carnegie dedicated enormous portions of his fortune to building libraries, universities, and institutions dedicated to learning. Because the greatest minds understand something profound. Success is not complete until it contributes to something larger than personal gain. Purpose gives direction to ambition. Without purpose, success feels empty. But when ambition is aligned with a meaningful contribution, energy becomes limitless. This is why individuals who discover a powerful purpose often display extraordinary resilience. They are not merely working for themselves. They are working for a vision that extends beyond their own comfort. Think about Walt Disney once more. Before the world saw the magic of Disneyland, Disney faced crushing financial setbacks. Studios failed. Projects collapsed. Investors doubted his ideas. But Disney carried a purpose that burned brighter than those obstacles. He believed imagination could bring joy to millions. He believed stories had the power to lift the human spirit. And that belief fueled a level of persistence that eventually built an entertainment empire unlike anything the world had seen. Purpose multiplies determination. When your work connects to something meaningful, fatigue loses its power. Doubt loses its voice. You move forward not because the path is easy, but because the mission matters. Yet even with purpose, vision, and discipline, there will be moments when uncertainty appears. Moments when the road ahead is unclear. Moments when you question whether the effort will truly lead somewhere meaningful. This is where faith enters the journey. Not blind optimism, but a quiet conviction that the seeds you are planting today will eventually grow. Farmers understand this principle deeply. They prepare the soil. They plant the seed. They water the field. But they do not dig up the seed every morning to check if it has grown. They trust the process. Human achievement follows the same law. The effort you invest today may remain invisible for a long time. But beneath the surface, change is happening. Skills are forming. Character is strengthening. Momentum is building. And one day the results break through the soil of effort like the first green shoot of spring. Those who lacked patience will call it luck. But you will know it was something far greater. It was the result of mastering your thoughts, directing your actions, and refusing to abandon the vision that once lived only inside your imagination. And once that realization becomes clear, fear begins to lose its grip on your life. Because you understand something powerful. You are no longer at the mercy of circumstances. You are not defined by yesterday's mistakes. You are not confined by the opinions of others. You are a builder of possibilities, a sculptor of destiny. A force capable of shaping your own path through discipline, purpose, and belief. And with every step forward, your confidence grows stronger. Your perspective becomes clearer. Your mind becomes sharper, until eventually you begin to recognize a truth that has echoed quietly through the lives of every great achiever who has ever walked this earth. The world is not conquered by those who are the most gifted. It is conquered by those who master themselves. And when the mind is disciplined, the vision is clear, the purpose is strong, and the spirit refuses to surrender. There is no force powerful enough to stop the rise of a determined human being.